As mentioned before, I'm from Ethiopia, and I want to say something about the Ethiopians, why they came to Norway, what is going in Norway now, and what will be the consequence for the victims who are facing this challenge in Norway. To start with, I want to say something about what Ethiopia looks like and why we came here. We Ethiopians have well-organized culture which binds us to live together, to help each other, and are interrelated and interdependent. And we have a good culture, and we are hard workers. We have also suitable climate throughout the year to live and to work with. But unfortunately, we are not lucky to have a good administration for the last 40 years, especially for the last 20 years, where the dictator regime of Palestinerleir distract our social values we have and implemented corrupted and one-party rule and also one tribe domination, to the extent that we are treated as a second citizens in our country. This human rights abuse forced most of us to flee from our beloved country and seek asylum all over the world, including Norway, and adapt to a new culture and a new climate, which in turn has its implementation and impact to our lifestyles and health. Some feel loneliness, some feel stress and depression because of the new environment. Beyond that, authorities responsible for refugee and protection has limited knowledge about what is in the ground that the ruling party doing in Ethiopia. This lack of information does not give them the true picture to see things properly. So they denied many asylum cases. Because of that, many of us living without rights to get job, education, proper medical care, and other rights. And exercising a miserable life. Most of the victims are living up to 10 years working and paying taxes, forming families and integrate their service to the society until last year. In addition to that, most of us using the democratic right, we get the country where we live. And we speak and express our thoughts freely and openly. Because of that, we are exposed to the evil acts of the we are exposing the evil acts of the regime in Ethiopia, which in turn expose us to the spies and agents living here in Norway of the training. Knowing all these factors, the Norwegian authorities responsible for asylum and protection deny our rights and rather make an agreement to return us to the dictator back home. And we are facing different life challenges and facing to live in a misery life. Some are saying they labor with less payments, it's 20 or 30 per kroner to get their daily bread. The others are practically living on the streets and get their daily food. Nearly they are begging Ethiopians, their brothers. Our ladies are forced to sell themselves to get shelter and daily food. All these sufferings are the daily life of many Ethiopians. You may ask me why they tolerate these challenges, why they live in Norway, why they don't go back home. We Ethiopians, as I mentioned before, because of the government, will have a fear of torture, imprisonment, and death if we back home. That's why we are against the agreement made between the Norwegian government and the dictator in Ethiopia. The reasons I have mentioned above were not the right to live in our country, and at the same time we are not the right to live in the country where we have sought asylum and protection. That means we are sandwiched, cannot go back home, cannot live here. Because of this, some of our friends get mental stresses and health problems. The children who are born here in Norway does not have the right to live here because of their family's case. We believe that this is because of improper asylum policy the country is exercising now. So we call on the Norwegian government and the public, especially the public, to support us, and the Norwegian government to consider what is in the ground in Ethiopia and reverse the decision and the asylum policy and grant protection to us. We deserve it, women. Thank you very much for hearing.